Hi, let's tackle a set of TOEFL reading questions together. I will guide you through applying the problem-solving strategies I teach in my TOEFL reading course and TOEFL reading book. Please review the online course or ebook to gain the necessary foundation to answer these questions quickly and accurately. Today's passage is titled Overkill of the North American Megafauna. This passage is significant as it resembles the structure of many TOEFL passages, focusing on evaluating a scientific hypothesis. Let's skim the passage. Okay, the rest looks like minor details. As soon as you see numbers or examples, you can skip them as they are minor details. So what did we learn? What we learned are these. Large mammals disappeared in North America 1,000 years ago. And why did that happen? One explanation is the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis, that these mammals were killed by Clovis people during the Pleistocene era. And this hypothesis is controversial. Moving on to paragraph 2, it presents an interesting point. The climate changed during the Pleistocene period, but this climate change happened before. The only difference between this Pleistocene period and the previous times is the presence of human hunters of these large mammals. So the question is this an accident or a causation? Paragraph 3. Of course, we don't know. That's why we need evidence. Martin proposes the Pleistocene hypothesis with a model that connects the mammal extinction with the human killing. He made a computer model that supports the hypothesis. Paragraph 4 is a minor detail. As you can see, there are a lot of numbers, so skip it. Paragraph 5. Many scholars continue to support this scenario, for example. So we know that the rest is going to be a minor detail. This paragraph introduces another person who supports the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis. Paragraph 6. Now it gets interesting since it talks about problems with a model. So we know that this paragraph is going to be an argument against the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis. So what is the problem with the hypothesis? Problem is that very little archaeological evidence is there to support the hypothesis. Martin actually admits this problem, but what is his response to the problem? His reaction to the problem is that the lack of archaeological evidence actually supports my model. His reasoning here is that there is no evidence because it happened so quickly. Paragraph 7 explains how other scholars respond to Martin's reaction to the lack of evidence. The author's reaction is that it's weak, it's not convincing. Another scholar, Grayson, argues that if humans kill the mammals, there has to be strong evidence. And his example is the extinction of moa of New Zealand. That is, humans killed all the moas, and there is strong archaeological evidence for this. And Grayson also adds that many megafauna disappeared even before the Clovis people showed up. So the summary of this passage is gonna be that the passage presents the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis as an explanation for the extinction of North American megafauna. And then the hypothesis is supported by Martin's computer model, but it faces challenges due to the lack of strong archaeological evidence. Now let's look at the questions. The meaning of distinctive. If you don't know the meaning, then think of a word that you know. Distinguish, right? It looks quite similar. What is distinguish? Distinguish means you can recognize the difference. How can we recognize the difference? Because it has its own characteristics, right? So from here you can kind of infer that distinctive should mean something distinguishing, characteristic, typical, unique. Number 2, this type of question has been asked several times in the TOEFL reading. I explained how to solve this type in my book and course. Basically, you need to know disjunctive syllogism, also called disjunction elimination, which looks like this. X or Y. Not Y, therefore X. So let's substitute content here. Climate change was the reason for the megafauna extinction, or human overkill was the reason for the megafauna extinction. Climate changes had happened before, but megafauna did not become extinct. Therefore, human overkill must have been the reason for the megafauna extinction. So to conclude 3, we need to show 2 is the case. Which one describes 2? C does. So C is the answer. Number 3, this is a paraphrase question. So to paraphrase, you need first find the main clause. The main clause here is he has co-authored a work. That's not that useful, not that much information there. So what we need to do is what that work was about. So the work is a computer model that shows that a small group of arriving hunters to the land could have spread and killed all the game animals to feed their growing society. A is incomplete because it doesn't say killing. B has all the things essential. C has to kill is not right. The highlighted sentence does not say it was necessary. It just happened. D is way off. So B is the correct paraphrase. Number 4, Martin ran the model several ways, meaning that he changed the parameters, yet the result is basically the same. It takes just 300 to 1,000 years to kill all the megafaunas. A is not mentioned. B, the location in Canada was used as an assumption. They did not establish it. C, confirm, could have, relatively short. These are all qualifying words. It's a form of careful writing, the hallmark of academic writing. I emphasize this careful writing using qualifiers in my book and course. You've got to study them to evaluate options well. Because of this careful writing, C has to be the answer. D, prove. Prove is an inappropriate word to say. Prove is not an appropriate word to talk about empirical science. Again, you have to study my book and course to understand why prove is not appropriate. Because of the word prove, D is false. Due to the way the options are worded, C has to be the answer. Number 5. The paragraph begins with, many scholars continue to support the scenario, and Egenbrod is an example of the supporters. So what did Egenbrod do? He mapped the Clovis sites and the Mammoth sites and found that the two occurred at the same time. This fact confirms the overkill hypothesis. A is no, B is no. Also, the first is a too strong of a word. Always be suspicious of non-qualifying absolute type of words. C, reinforce means support or confirm. Again, could have. This is a careful writing. So C is a good choice. D is no. So C is the answer. Careful writing using qualifiers. You got to know that. Number 6. Paragraph 6 talks about the problem with the overkill hypothesis. What is that? Lack of evidence. A is incorrect. Agenbrod confirmed synchronicity. B is almost. The problem with B is known mammoth habitats. We don't know their habitats. We only know the site of their remains, their graveyards, that is. So B is a good trap. C. The passage says that in the years since, few additional mammoths have been added to the list. So we know that there is at least one. So C is false. D is what we're looking for. That is, there isn't enough archaeological evidence. Number 7. The Moa case of New Zealand is a counterexample to Martin's overkill hypothesis. So it is used to challenge Martin's claim that no evidence is evidence. Learning counterexample is very important for TOEFL reading. You should learn how to use them and how to answer questions using counterexample from my book or course. Okay, so the answer here is B. Number 8. Grayson rejects Martin's overkill hypothesis for the reason that there's not enough evidence. So you need to look for an option that talks about that. A is no. B supports Martin's view, so no. C again supports Martin's view, so C is not it. D is written in the subjunctive past perfect form, which indicates the opposite situation of past events. So what D really means is that since humans were not the cause of extinction, there hasn't been much evidence. So D is correct. Okay, this is a sentence insertion question. The target sentence introduces a non-human cause, weather cycle or climate change. So A talks about climate change and the target sentence introduces climate change. So the target sentence should come before A. This way of transitioning is called moving ideas from new to old. That is, you need to first introduce a topic and then give a detail. Like in our case, you need to first introduce climate change and then talk about climate change more. Number 10, summary question. As I always emphasize, you have to work with the introductory summary sentence. All the correct options support the introductory summary sentence. Okay, so what is the introductory summary here sentence? About 11,000 years ago, all of North America's megafauna became extinct. So we can expect that the choices will talk about theories relating to this phenomenon. A is the Pleistocene overkill hypothesis, so we keep A. B is about Martin's model and some evidence for the hypothesis, so we keep B. C is true, but it's a minor detail. How do you know whether it's a minor detail or essential detail? If it's an essential detail, it has to be included in the summary. The way to check is whether that option supports the introductory summary sentence. Clearly, C doesn't support the introductory summary sentence, and that's why C is a minor detail. D says hunt enough large animals. That is wrong. Enough is the wrong one. If they killed just enough animals to feed their population, the large mammals might not have gone extinct. That is, if it was just enough large animals were killed. It doesn't explain the introductory summary sentence that all that megafauna became extinct. This is an easy one if you studied my book or course because of the word proof. You cannot use proof for an empirical science. F talks about the problem with the overkill hypothesis. So F should be included in the summary. Okay, that's all I have today.